moving on to some of the more serious stuff, the corruption
Yes,
related to Joe.
Hunter Biden has documented himself committing.
He just loves doing it, doesn't he? So we found out that in this Daily Mail article listed here, Hunter Biden associate referred to the big guy in second message during panic about laptop hard drive leaks ahead of the 2020 presidential election. So all of the circumstances of this text message being revealed here, the fact it's in the run-up to the 2020 election, referring to the big guy, they're worried about the laptop hard drive leak. Well, doesn't it suggest that maybe this all relates to Joe?
Yes, because it obviously does.
So yes, the article says, James Gilliar, a British businessman in May 2017, had emailed his associates, including Hunter, to formalise how they would divide the spoils from their deal in China's largest private energy company. Gilliar wrote that the proceeds would be split with 20% for each of the 4 partners, including JG, assumed to be himself, and H, assumed to be Hunter. Cryptically, the remaining 20% would be divided, 10% to Jim, likely Hunter's uncle Jim Biden, and 10% held by H for the big guy. If the big guy is indeed Joe Biden, it would contradict his insistence that he was not involved in his son's business dealings. The president has long rubbished any suggestion of financial impropriety. And yet
Let's get Tony Bobulinski on the phone.
Yeah, well, this mysterious beneficiary, we still haven't figured out who they are.
Oh, I'm sure they certainly don't have a Chinese surname.
No, or that of Biden.
Lord Nerevar says, if this is what Hunter is like, it makes me wonder what Joe is or was, before he became senile, like behind closed doors. Which is a great point, because, I mean, like, we've got enough Joe Biden, like, aggressively sniffing and pinching children in public that is like, okay, that's really weird. You know, what must he have been like behind closed doors?
I've heard stuff from people who've worked for him in the White House, and they said that actually he swears like a sailor, is really rude, dismissive, coarse, and really quite unpleasant as a person to a lot of people.
What a shock!
I'm not really surprised. So here is another revelation titled Hunter's House of Cards. First son confided to lover Hallie Biden that he was feeling pressured over suspected involvement in brokering oil deal directly with Putin and his missing Chinese partner just as Joe was about to run for president.
What?
So yeah, Hunter told his sister-in-law / lover, weird thing to put next to each other, that he was brokering a Chinese oil deal directly with Vladimir Putin.
Okay.
In December 2018, the text obtained by the DailyMail.com, Hunter said he felt very alone in coping with issues involving his personal finances and business deals. What is that, a moral conscience coming through? The president's son said he was dealing with the aftermath of the abduction of his business partner and Chinese oil giant, chairman of the CEFC, Yi Jianming.
Oh, Yi Jianming got abducted?
Yes.
By someone. Presumably the Chinese government.
I think he got tried for corruption in the end.
Oh, really? How did that happen?
I couldn't possibly
what
tell
corruption
you.
are you talking about?
At the same time, Hunter also had a giant tax bill hanging over him, and his client, Patrick Ho, Chinese chief of intelligence, had been convicted in the US. Yes. Hunter wrote that he had been suspected of brokering a deal with Putin for the largest sale of oil, gas, assets inside Russia to China. The deal was a failed purchase of 9.1 billion stake in Russian state oil firm Rosneft by CEFC, a Chinese oil giant that Hunter had partnered with. He told Hallie the house of cards was falling in just as his father Joe was deciding to run for president. So yes, direct links to Putin, direct links to the Chinese state, links to corrupt businesses in Ukraine, and it's all starting to come together a little bit with these recent revelations.
He really is at the nexus of a web of corruption and debauchery, isn't he?
Absolutely. So just to hammer that point home,
staggering.
I mean, it's almost impressive how immoral he is.
Yeah, no,
he's like the most industrious degenerate I've ever known.
Yeah, he's literally the least moral person who's operating in public life to any degree, and yeah, like you say, it's actually kind of impressive just how bad he is.
So if we move on to the next one from the New York Post, Joe Biden met Chinese energy execs with ties to Hunter at the White House in 2014. So this is another link that has been made on the 5th of August of this year.
What I love about this is that Joe Biden is implicated in being near Hunter Biden's corruption. Like, normally this is all like, yeah, so Joe, you know, you're the one in trouble here. No. Hunter's in trouble, and Joe, you're getting a bit close. You want to distance yourself from your own son.
So Joe Biden hosted a White House meeting with 2 Chinese energy executives with ties to his son Hunter back when he was vice president in 2014. The president, who still insists he never spoke to Hunter about his son's overseas business dealings, met the 2 executives from Wangjiang, a major Chinese company, in the West Wing on July 25th, 2014, according to White House visitors logs. Wangjiang, America President, Pin Ni, and Wangjiang Resource, I imagine that's Coordinator President, Yu Honghan, were at the White House for just over an hour after the last-minute meeting was scheduled a day earlier, the records, first reported by the Daily Mail show. A client of Hunter's, Seneca Global Advisors company, Great Point Energy, had previously partnered with Wangjiang in 2012 for a $1.25 billion natural gas plant in China. So we obviously know that Hunter was involved in some energy stuff now at this point in time. Hunter was also linked to the Chinese company via his investment in the Fisker car business, which was bought by Wangjiang in February of 2014.
Sorry to, but him being on the board of Burisma now starts to make more sense, doesn't it? Because they're like, well, what's your expertise in energy? He's like, none. But
I have this connection to...
Yeah, I have been on the board of many, or like I've been directly connected to various other giant energy companies, and I've brokered many a deal. So actually that makes a lot more sense.
Yes. So I think that the reason that they actually got him on the board in Burisma is because he, of course, had this record, but also the fact that Joe was in the country. He had the power to leverage the money that they were going to donate to Ukraine to do what they wanted, and getting rid of that prosecutor who had his eyes on Burisma would have probably been a worthwhile investment for them, because the cost of paying
could have
Hunter,
unraveled a bunch of stuff.
the money they're paying to him, though, all of a sudden makes sense when the cost is potentially having all of their schemes unraveled.
Yeah, it's only $50,000 a month.
So it says, where was I? Hunter was linked to this car business, and he'd previously purchased one of Fisker's electric sports cars for more than $100,000. So yes, clearly close partner of these businesses, and Joe's met them in the White House. So that's undeniable. This is White House records. This is business records. You can't really escape that there is a clear connection here. This is explicit. You can't really
There's no getting away from it.
Yeah.
Jordan says, we live in a timeline where the most corrupt man in America may be brought down by his retarded, drug-addicted son, making the worst possible decisions constantly. Yeah. I mean, Hunter seems to be the architect of his own problems here. Not only the terrible things he does, but the stupidity of, I mean, how did 4chan get hold of his phone details? Well, I'm guessing they were spoofed off some...
Well, his password was Hunter02 for his iCloud.
Password was Arc1. But this so stupid. But like, how did they get hold of the IP or whatever it is for a phone? It's going to be that Hunter was on some dodgy bloody website or something. You know? And don't worry about your laptop, Hunter. Don't worry. Unbelievable.
So because of all of this stuff,
I'm kind of more annoyed by the arrogance of it. Like, because if I was doing all of this stuff, I would have it would be locked down. You know what I mean? I would know where that laptop was or where my phone was. I wouldn't go on, I wouldn't click this link. No, I'm not clicking that bloody link. Like I would be on point with all of this because I wouldn't want to get caught, because I would expect like the authorities would come after me. But Hunter Biden clearly says nothing's going to happen to me. I do find it frustrating that if you're going to be corrupt, at least do it right. Yeah. We shouldn't know any of this, Hunter.
It's like when I was doing an Epochs with Bo about World War II, and he's talking about how the Germans kept on being really inefficient, which is quite funny to me anyway. And I was just like, oh, for goodness sake, like, why? It's just frustrating, although they were fighting against us, and I'm obviously not rooting for them. No. It's just like, well,
there's a natural kind of disgust with inefficiency, isn't there?
So because of all of this, Rasmussen have done a poll in which most voters think his father profited from his foreign dealings. So
it really looks like he did.
Yeah. A new national telephone and online survey by Rasmussen, I think this was in July, so this was last month, finds that 69% of likely US voters believe that it's likely that the president was aware of at least some of Hunter Biden's major foreign business dealings, including 49% who think it's very likely, just 22% don't think it is likely that Biden was aware of his son's foreign deals, and 10% are not sure. So that's resounding, really.
Yeah, I mean, General Haiping says it's almost quite an achievement to embody 3 out of 4 aspects of the Chaos Gods, which just represent vices. The only vice that Hunter doesn't embody is disease, actually.
Well.
Oh, are we getting to that, are we?
Well, I don't know whether he's got any diseases, but
Well,
one cannot sleep with so many prostitutes before you...
But we don't know that he has some disgusting diseases, so...
I think the odds are very much against him.
I would put my money on it, but I don't have any proof of it.
That's true.
To watch the full video, please become a premium member at lotuseaters.com.